Hey everyone, how are y'all? Hey Dreamcatcher, how are you? Emerald Queen, how are you? Werewolf Queen, how are you tonight? Hey Teresa. Dreamcatcher, I'm doing okay. I've major allergy issues going on here, but other than that, I'm good. All right, make sure that all of you have your chat on live chat. I know some people forget that. Hey, Just Ann, how are you? Evie, mine are horrible. I'm trying not to cough in y'all's ear tonight, but it's been like this for like 3 days now. Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm pinning the email to the top. Hey, Truth Finder, how are you? Hey, Lori and CJ, how are you tonight? Lovable Mama Bear, how are you? Jan, right now, he's got me on 2 different sinus medicines, and it's still not doing anything. And he gave me an antibiotic because he thought I had a sinus infection. I'm taking Claritin. And what is that other one? Claritin and Singular. And it's still, I thought with the Singular added to it, it would help it, but it hasn't. Lori and CJ, no, I haven't. Hey, 9mm, how are you? And 9mm, did I send you that email? I don't remember if I did or not. If I didn't, I will have to do it after the live. Okay, you're welcome. I just wanted to make sure that I did. Okay. Hold on 1 second. I'm moving some stuff around. This out. Hey, see you too. How are you? Thank you, 9mm. Okay. All right, y'all don't forget to hit the thumbs up on your way in as well. Hey, Em, how are you? And Em, it's some craziness going on with this case. Hey, Cujo, how are you? I don't know, all the craziness that we've already heard. Like, I didn't think it could get any worse than that, and then bam, this happens. Okay, y'all, I don't even know what I'm doing here. Hold on. Oh yeah, Lori and CJ. And what's funny is that I haven't seen News Nation with their sources come out with anything on this. I haven't even seen where they've even talked about the subpoena at all. Like, I'm curious to know where they're at. Like, why isn't their folks talking uh their sources? Why ain't they saying anything? Oh, now Millimeter, I hate to hear about the lupus, honey. Okay, I gotta figure out. I think it's this one. I'm probably not gonna show these in order tonight. Okay, so Truth Finder, throughout this whole case, we haven't really heard a whole lot about Bethany Funk, um, other than she was at the party where Ethan and Xana were, which was at the Sigma Chi fraternity. She was said to have been asleep through everything that happened that night on the first floor of the house. And that was pretty much it. Really, nothing else we've heard about her. And now all of a sudden, the defense has asked for an out of state. Hey, Jody, it's cool. How are you? The state has, I'm sorry, not the state. The defense has asked for an out of state subpoena for her. And now that was, what day was that? Today's Monday. So Friday when it came out, Saturday when it came out. And now all of a sudden today, I wake up and it's like all of these documents are out. Hey, Linda, how are you? Oh, shoot, y'all. Hold on. I didn't even have my chat on live chat. Carmack, how are you tonight? Hey, Pickle Me Elmo, how are you? Did you get the link? Yes, I got them. And that's what I was trying to figure because I have the documents that I got off of Twitter, but I'm trying to figure out which one is going to be easier for all of y'all to see. If it's the one out of the email or if it's the ones, if it's this one. I may just use the ones out of the email. It may be easier. Linda, I'm doing good, thank you. Okay, let me get this pulled up here real quick. All right, truth finder. So exculpatory evidence means it is a material that is favorable to a defendant in a criminal case. It can exonerate or lessen their culpability, leading to more favorable outcomes. Prosecutors must hand over any exculpatory evidence as part of the individual's due process rights. So that is the meaning of a Twitter. I mean, not. I'm sorry, not Twitter. Google. Hey Scott, how are you? Let's see. May have to leave early tonight. Tomorrow on the 26th, doctor appointment. Where put the blood pressure cups in arms and legs, lower extremity, ordeal, scan, ankle, bronchial. Oh wow, Scott. Well, I hope everything turns out okay. Werewolf Queen, we are just happy that you are here with us tonight. Okay, now let me grab, and while I'm doing this, if y'all haven't hit the thumbs up, please do so. Hey, Musical, how are you? I may just do it like this and just use the links out of the email because it will probably be easier. Oh, shit. Okay. Thank you, Jody. Let's see. Bethany must have made further statements to Ellie and made those through the court. I have all of the documents. I'm gonna go over them with y'all, read over them like I always do. I know sometimes it's hard for those who use phones to watch YouTube and stuff like that. It's hard for y'all uh, to see the stuff that is said on there. So I'm going to. I gotta find. I gotta find the right document first. I think this is it. Because on the subpoena thing that I had showed, it showed that uh, Bethany's attorney had put in a motion to quash the subpoena. So that is going to be the last thing that I need to read. Okay, let me send this in where I can see it. Yeah, I'm going to have to use the ones out of the email because they're a little bit more clear. 16 total pages minus 3. Yeah, the exhibits, they're not showing, which is understandable. Okay, let me get back over to this screen. Hey, Marissa, how are you? Marissa, you're not really late, honey. I haven't even got started on reading the stuff. So you are good. Okay. I don't know if I can. All right, can everybody see that okay? I'm going to read it as well, but I just want to make sure for those who can see it that y'all can see it okay. Okay, Werewolf Queen, that's fine, honey. And like I said, that's the reason why I read them all out because I know that there's a lot of people who can't, they can't see them. Okay, let me turn my monitor where I can see it better, y'all. I've got to clean my desk off. This is crazy. Okay, let me try this to see if this helps y'all any. Hey, Sandra, how are you? Okay. Oh, thank you. See you too. All right, so it says in the Second Judicial District Court of the State of Nevada, in and for the County of Waso. I'm probably not pronouncing that right, but I do apologize. Hey, Art, how are you? It's the State of Idaho versus Brian C. Kohlberger. They don't have a case number or a department number on here. It says request for foreign subpoena, out of state commission, witness Bethany Grace Funk, affirmation pursuant to the NRS 239B.030. The undersigned does hereby affirm that the preceding document does not contain the Social Security number of any person. That was dated on the 4th of April of this year. And it's Evelyn Grosnick, the intern Waso County Public Defender. All right, and I'm just keeping up with the chat as I'm going. And this is just the index of the exhibits. One is the certificate of an Idaho judge to secure the attendance of an out-of-state witness. Two, the ex parte motion for a certificate to secure the attendance of an out-of-state witness. And number three is the affidavit in support of motion for an out-of-state service. Okay, so exhibit one, this one has been redacted. But we're going to go to this one. All right, so this is also in the District Court of the Second Judicial District of the State of Idaho, in and for the County of Latah. State of Idaho versus Brian Kohlberger. This is a certificate of an Idaho judge to secure the attendance of an out-of-state witness. Okay, so I'm seeing we got 75 people in here and only 35 likes. So if y'all would please go hit the thumbs up if you don't mind. And I'm going to have to see if I can zoom this in because I cannot see it. Okay. And if y'all hear me reading and then all of a sudden I go mute, that's just because I'm coughing and I'm muting it so I'm not coughing in your ear. Okay, thank y'all. All right, so it says, having considered the defendant ex parte motion for certificate to secure the attendance of an out-of-state witness in the affidavit of Richard Bethany, I think is how you pronounce his last name, in support of said motion, and the court being otherwise fully advised herein. 1 second, y'all. Okay. All right, so let's see. It says it's for an out-of-state witness affidavit of Richard Bethany in support of the said motion, and the court being otherwise fully advised herein, I, Megan E. Marshall, do hereby certify as follows. 1, I am the magistrate judge for the Second Judicial District of the State of Idaho, which is a constitutionally and statutorily prescribed court of record in the state of Idaho. Number 2, in this case, Brian Kohlberger is charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder under Idaho Code 8-4003, which is punishable by death or by imprisonment for life, and 1 count of burglary under the Idaho Code 18-1401, which is punishable by imprisonment in the state prison for not less than 1 year, nor more than 10 years. So number 3 is I am the judge assigned to preside over the preliminary hearing that is scheduled to occur on June the 26th of 2023 at 9 a.m. through June 30th of 2023. Number 4, Bethany Funk may be a material witness for the defendant in this case. 5, for the reasons stated in the affidavit of Richard Bethany, the presence of Bethany Funk is required at the Latah County Courthouse located at 522 South Adams Street, Moscow, Idaho, beginning at 8 a.m. on June the 28th of 2023. And I'm sure the reason why they have it scheduled for her to be there on the 28th instead of like the 26th and 27th is because that would probably be the day that they would call her to get on the stand. So number 6, under the laws of the state of Idaho, if Bethany Funk comes into the state in obedience of a summons requiring her presence at this hearing, she will not be subject to arrest or service or any process relating to the matters that arose before she entered the state under the summons. Okay. All right. So number 7 says the certificate is made for the express purpose of being presented to a judge of a court of record in the state of Nevada in support of an order to compel the attendance of Bethany Funk at the time and place for the reasons stated above. This was witnessed by hand on the 24th of March of 2023, and then Megan Marshall has signed it. And down here at the bottom, let's see, State of Idaho, County of Latah, I, Julie Fry, Clerk of the District Court of the 2nd Judicial District of the State of Idaho, in and for the County of Latah, do hereby certify that the Honorable Megan E. Marshall, who signed the foregoing certificate, is a duly commissioned and qualified magistrate judge for the 2nd Judicial District of the State of Idaho, in and for the County of Latah. In testimony whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and official seal of the said court for the state of Idaho. That was done on March the 24th. March the 24th of 2023. Okay, and then Julie Fry has signed it. Exhibit 2 has been redacted. Okay. And if anybody's come in while I was reading, I haven't spoke to you, I do apologize, but thank you for joining us tonight. Hey, King Scarlet, how are you? All right, so this is also the state of Idaho versus Brian C. Kohlberger. It's a case number CR 29-2200002805. So this is an ex parte motion for the certificate to secure the attendance of an out-of-state witness. And it says, comes now, Brian C. Kohlberger, by and through his attorney, Ann C. Taylor, public defender, hereby moves the court for a certificate to assist in securing the attendance of Bethany Funk as a witness on behalf of the defendant in this case. This motion is based on Idaho Code Section 19-3004, 19-3005, 19-852, and the attached affidavit in support of motion of out-of-state service, Exhibit A. That was dated on March the 24th of 2023. And then it just has Ann Taylor's signature on there. So Exhibit 3 has been redacted. And then this is the affidavit in support of the motion for the out-of-state service. Okay. Let me zoom. I may have to zoom in just a little bit. Okay. All right. So Richard Batanti, being first duly sworn upon oath, deposes and says, I am, number 1, I am a criminal investigator hired by the defense to assist in the representation of Brian Kohlberger. Number 2, I was asked by appointed counsel Ann C. Taylor to investigate the alleged incident which led to the arrest of Brian Kohlberger. 3, Brian is charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of burglary. 4, the deaths took place in a 3-story home. There are 2 bedrooms on each floor, bathrooms on each floor, and a kitchen, dining, and living room on the middle floor. Number 5 says that Mr. Kohlberger is alleged to have entered the house around 4 a.m. while 6 people were sleeping present, killing 4 people in 2 separate bedrooms. And we may need a trigger warning because I haven't had a chance to read over all of these, so I don't know what all they have in it. Hey, Melissa Jade, how are you? Hey, Illusions, how are you? Let's see, where did I leave off? Okay, so number 6, the people killed were located in 2 bedrooms, one on the 2nd floor and the other on the 3rd floor. Number 7 says Bethany Funk's bedroom was on the 1st floor. Number 8, the other surviving roommate's bedroom was on the second floor. Number 9, Bethany Funk was interviewed by police on several occasions. She disclosed things that she heard and things that she saw. Well, hey Tammy C, how did she see anything if she was asleep? Oh, Illusions, I hate to hear that, but I hope you get to feeling better soon. Wait, hold on. Let me go back up to Tammy's. Let's see. Hey guys, I tried to tell you it's gonna be a wild one. I still think there was 3 of them. A lot of people were saying that Bethany's gonna be the key because we've heard nothing from her. But I wonder how, if she was asleep, like how did, like I get if you're asleep and you can get woken up to noises. I get that. But how do you see something if you're asleep? But it says here, number 9, Bethany Funk was interviewed by police on several occasions. She disclosed things that she heard and things that she saw. Ava, how are you? All right, so number 10, Bethany Funk was present at the home 8 hours later when police were called, arrived on scene, and discovered the homicides. So was she at home whenever this happened? Let me go down to number, I think there's a number 11. Hold on. Oh, wait, there's a number 11 and number 12. We may have to come back to number 10. So number 11 says, during the course of my investigation, it has become known to me that Bethany Funk has information material to the charges against Mr. Kohlberger. Portions of information Ms. Funk has is exculpatory to the defendant. Ms. Funk's information is unique to her experience and cannot be provided by another witness. Number 12 says that Bethany Funk resides in the state of Nevada, and it is necessary to subpoena this witness because the witness's testimony is material to the and necessary to this case. Give me 1 second, y'all. Okay, y'all, I'm sorry. Hey, Tonka. Okay. Nowhere in here does it say that she was present at the time that the murders took place. But she was present at the home 8 hours later when police were called. So was she home whenever all this happened? Hey, Boomer Girl. Because, I mean, it seems like if she would have been home at the time that it happened, they would have, like, the investigator would have put that in here, don't y'all think? And the only other thing that he says is that her bedroom was on the first floor. He never says that she was asleep in her bedroom when it happened. So she was interviewed by police on several occasions. She disclosed things that she heard and things that she saw. Bethany Funk was present at the home 8 hours later when police were called, arrived on the scene, and discovered the homicides. This is very interesting, y'all. Let's see, maybe that was said to protect her. Could be. And yeah, what a baby, it says that she was interviewed by police on several occasions. So wait. Maybe she knew something was going to happen and left. But I wonder what it is that she knows that this guy is claiming that will help Brian. Could she be Brian's alibi? Could that be possible? Hey, Tree Baby, how are you? I wonder if she escaped when it all was happening. So but would that have been put in here? Like in this affidavit? Because Marissa, I mean, that could be possible that she could have escaped. It's funny, like Bethany escaped, but why didn't Dylan? Maybe she knows the reason why Dylan waited 8 hours to call. Okay, she was not there. She may have seen one of the guys with blood all over him at the frat house. Tonka, that is true. Whatever it is substantial enough that the judge issued a subpoena. See, she could say if Dylan was stoned or drunk that night, Justine, that is true. Okay, let me go back down. Okay, so number 11 once again says, during the course of my investigation, it has become known to me that Bethany Funk has information material to the charges against Mr. Kohlberger. Portions of information Ms. Funk has as exculpatory to the defendant, which means she has information that can exonerate him. Ms. Funk's information is unique to her experiences and cannot be provided by another witness. So that would mean like it would be only something that maybe she saw and only she heard. And let's just say, for example, she's his alibi. Only she would be able to, if it's just him and her. And I'm not saying that this is true. I'm just saying I'm using this as an example. If there was, if she saw him somewhere or was with him or whatever that night, and there was no one else, then only she can give that. Remember, this is according to the detective the defense hired, right? I don't know. It's some craziness, y'all. This exculpatory as a defense makes it sound, and the preliminary hearing is where it should be heard. And see, that's what they're trying to. That's what all of the subpoenas for is for her to come in on June the 28th, because the preliminary hearing starts on the 26th of June. They want her. They want her there on the 28th to testify. Let's see. Wait, Tammy, you heard that Bethany and Brian were dating? Where did you hear that from? Okay, so wait, let me see. Ava, so when writing writs, investigators are taught to use tricky, open-ended language. It could mean many things. Yeah, for sure it could mean many things. I mean, she could have seen or heard anything, but I wonder why it's not putting it in there, though, that she was there during the time that it happened, but she was present 8 hours later when the police showed up. Let's see, Scarlett, the bio on PI that Ann Taylor hired is amazing. The kind of guy you want on your side. So just saying, you're talking about this guy here, this Richard Batanti. I don't know if I'm even pronouncing this man's name right. Okay, so another platform. Okay, so we don't know for a fact if Bethany and Brian were dating. At this point in time, honestly, like all the stuff that we've heard, anything is possible. It wouldn't put it past me if they were dating or if she knew him from another place or whatever. It wouldn't surprise me. Wait. Scarlett, go back and read where she won't be arrested. Okay, let me find. Y'all remember I'm on page. Oh, never mind. I'm on the last page. Okay, so let me go back and find. I think that was up here. I know it was like close to the bottom of the page, I believe it was. Let's see. Okay, so number 5 right here, it says, for the reasons stated in the affidavit of Richard Batanti, the presence of Bethany Funke is required at the Latah County Courthouse located at 522 South Adams Street, Moscow, Idaho, beginning at 8 a.m. on June 28th. Number 6 says, under the laws of the state of Idaho, if Bethany Funk comes into the state in obedience of the summons requiring her presence at the hearing, she will not be subject to arrest or service of any process relating to the matters that arose before she entered the state under the summons. Hey, Glowbug, how are you? Okay, so wait a minute. Who just told me to go back up? That was 9mm. Okay, so 9mm. What am I looking for here? Like, what do you want me to point out? Okay, so Bethany comes into the state in accordance of the summons requiring her presence at the hearing. She will not be subject to an arrest or service of any process relating to matters that arose before she entered the state under the summons. That's not just legal terminology. Just saying, like, if you're subpoenaed to come to court, and if you don't, you basically get charged with contempt. Hey, Lee with love, how are you? Hey, Terry, how are you tonight? Hey, Sima. I don't know. I think that's all they're saying is that as long as she comes into the state with the intentions of attending that day, the June 28th, it was at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, she's supposed to be there. Hey, Cammie, how are you? Then she won't be subject to an arrest. Let's see. Relating to matters that arose before, that's what's getting me. Okay, so she will not be subject to arrest or service of any process relating to the matters that arose before she entered the state under the summons. I don't know. First thing that popped into my head was she did a plea, but I don't think that would be right. Hey, Princess Megan, how are you? Boomer Girl, yes, this is his. Hold on, let me go back up here. Well, this one that I'm reading right now is a So it sounds odd to me. I need to talk to. Send it to her, White Widow baby, and see what she thinks. Let's see. I learned that if the documents are not prepared correctly, then one can reject the call, or if one does not want to testify. Well, Sima, her attorney, Bethany's attorney, has put in a motion to quash the subpoena. Stevie, I can't remember if I've said Wait, can y'all hear me? Uh, okay. All right. I was just making sure because I wasn't muted. Yeah, if I'm talking and all of a sudden I just mute out, it's because I'm coughing. I'm not coughing in y'all's ear. And I do know that YouTube for the past couple of days has been having some glitchy type stuff going on. I noticed on another channel when the creator was talking, it was like it was cutting in and out. So if that's what it is, it could be the glitches of YouTube. Okay. All right. So I believe I was on page 10, right? Okay. So this one was dated, the one that I just got through reading, March the 22nd. The Richard dude has signed it. It was subscribed and sworn on March the 22nd as well, and notarized. Uh, yeah, just saying, I don't know what's been up with YouTube here lately. Okay, so let me get my other link real quick. It's gonna take it a second. Hey Riddler, how are you? Wait, 9 millimeter. Who needs a swear jar? I haven't swore tonight. Let's see, I'm buffering so bad. Gonna come back in. Okay, Boomer Girl. Oh, okay. I was about to say 9 millimeter. I caught myself. Actually was being good tonight. Okay, give me a second and let me make sure. Okay, that I've got the right one. Because this one's going to be a little lengthy. It's 6 pages, but it's a lot of reading. So give me a second. Hey, Vaughn, how are you? All right, and while I'm doing this, y'all hit the thumbs up. It helps the channel. See, I love it when you swear. Hardly ever happens. I've been trying to be good, obsessed. I really have been. Rated as severe. They will mess with the leg. That could be what's going on. Also, 9 millimeter. I was hoping because they were saying yesterday that the Northern Lights were supposed to go like really south in the states. Hey, Loaded Hot, how are you? And I was hoping I would get to see them. I was kind of disappointed that I didn't. Wasn't she asleep? Loaded Hot. That's what I'm wondering now. Police were saying the whole time that she was asleep. She slept through the whole thing. But then again, they also said that about Dylan. Dylan and Bethany, they slept through the whole thing. And now this private investigator has come out that was hired by Ann Taylor and says that Bethany was interviewed multiple times by uh, police, and she has said things that basically could help exonerate Brian Kohlberger. See, we can see the Northern Lights tonight, and so oh, see, that is so awesome. 9 millimeter. Well, they kept saying that it was what the hell is this cat, y'all? That as far south as Alabama was going to get to see it, so I was hoping that we were. Yeah, we didn't get to see it, y'all. The kitty is up here. He's gonna get in trouble for jumping on my chair. Okay, so I live in northern Florida and only have seen the Northern Lights one. Riddler, I've never got to see them, except for in pictures, and that's it. Let's see. So it could be nothing, but something defense needs to create any type of reasonable doubt. See, it could be for that, be what she didn't see or what she saw earlier in the night somewhere else, whatever. Now, Stevie, you know that or it says in the PCA that she saw Ethan and Xana at the frat house at the party from what was it, 9 o'clock to 1:45. But it was kind of weird how she could see him at 1:45 when it was said that she got home at 1 o'clock. Like that whole timeline there, it doesn't seem to be adding up because her and Dylan got home at 1 o'clock in the morning, but yet she sees him at 1:45 at the frat house. But then Xana talks to her dad and says that her and her boyfriend are at home watching a movie at midnight. So it's like that timeline is just not, it's not adding up. Hey Ray, how are you? Let's see, the tech here in California has been weird, blaming the geomagnetic. Jen, that's probably what's going on here too. It's gonna mess all my stuff up, but it ain't gonna let me see the northern lights. Let's see, it's getting close to May, then June. First time I found this channel was when you were streaming about the white Hyundai found abandoned in Oregon. And Lori, that seems like forever ago when we were talking about the white Hyundai Elantra being found in Oregon. And we are very happy that you found us as well. Ray, I'm doing okay. If I can just get over these sinus problems. Okay, so Loaded Hot, the defense subpoenaed her to be at the preliminary hearing June the 28th. Her attorney is trying to get the subpoena quashed, meaning getting it nulled or it becomes invalid, whatever, however you want to put it. Basically, her attorney's trying to make the whole subpoena go away. But they're saying that she has evidence, the things that she's seen and she heard, that only she could be, like, she could only give that information. Like it's her own, and I forgot the words that they use. I can go back and look at it. But it's like her own testimony. Like nobody else would be able to give it. Hey Gigi, how are you? Oh, I don't think it's gonna be either. Wait, what, oh baby? I'm just curious to know what it is. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to fix my thing that I have draped over my chair because these cats, I don't want them. This chair is brand new, and I don't want them climbing all over it. But they are just being like super bad tonight. Okay. All right. Let's see. What she's seen or what she heard is something only she seen or heard and is detrimental to the outcome of the trial. Yes. Gigi, I'm doing good, honey. Hey, Wanjira, how are you? Y'all, these kittens. Y'all. These cats are bad. Oh my gosh. It ain't funny, White Widow baby. I'm telling you. He's under my desk and I don't know where he is at. Good Lord. Milo and all them, they didn't do all this. They were like grumpy old men, like When they were 3 weeks old, they just laid around and slept and ate. These here are like climbing the walls and the curtains and everything else. Hey, no fear. How are you? See, that's what. No, obsessed. I've always been around cats and dogs, and I've never had allergy or sinus problems until I moved down this dirt road that Troll's family lived down. So when I moved down here 26 years ago, that's when the allergies and sinus issues and all that started. Literally every time somebody passes the house is like a dust storm. Let's see. Hey Roger, how are you? Michelle, how are you? See, they really don't qualify if what she heard saw before, during, or after the incident. Just want to know what it is. If Bethany honors the subpoena, will she have to face? Yeah, Riddler, she will have to testify at the preliminary. Boomer girl, they're horrible. Well, I'm not gonna say horrible. They're like super sweet, but they're bad. That's what they are. And I think one of them is a female, which is laying down right now. The other one, I don't know where he went. And I have to watch them because they're in that stage right now where they chew on everything. Wait, what up? Me and Troll, that's what we called him the other day because Troll was eating some Sour Patch Kids. And we've all seen the commercial that's like first they're sour and then they're sweet or whatever. And I was like, that's how the kittens are. They're super sweet when they're sleeping. When they're up, if you try to pet them, they're like wanting to attack your hands. They're wanting to play. They're wanting to run all over you. But when they go to sleep, they want to get up on your chest and lay down and go to sleep. Like they like to snuggle, but it's the only time they're really sweet. And I don't know where he went. Oh, never mind. I see him. Hold on, y'all. Okay, he's gone. Uh, well, see, that's what I'm trying to keep them from doing is chewing on because I have all these cords all over my desk and hanging off of it, and I've got 3 surge protectors with stuff in it, and like I don't want them chewing all over it, so I have to keep an eye on them. Or they try to jump in the chair, and I don't want them jumping in this chair and getting their toenails hung in it. Oh, Princess Megan, we've got 5 cats now, 2 dogs, a rabbit. We got a lot of animals here. We got too many, honestly. Okay, y'all. So let's get started on this. All right. So this is the motion to quash the foreign subpoena. And at the top up here, it says, hold on one second. Let me tell Troll something. Okay. So News Nation is talking about this. American Princess, they haven't said anything about the subpoena. Hey, Arv, how are you? I haven't seen them, unless they have since I went live. But I haven't seen them say anything about the subpoena, and they haven't said anything about these documents. That's what I was asking earlier. Like, where's all these sources? Any other time, they would be like on top of stuff, and they've kind of vanished. Let's see, raccoons, deer, wild turkey, squirrels, etc. I'm rolling. That's Boomer Girl. That's how we are. literally out in the middle of the sticks. Okay, so this is Kelly Ann Valoria. She is an attorney from Nevada. Oh, wait. News Nation just uploaded about. Oh, okay. Thank you, American Princess. So I've been live now for 55 minutes. So that's why I didn't know. Ashley Banfield had to go buy her some more beige shirts. I'm gonna have to go check out and see what they said. I'm over the sources bullshit. Honestly, it's like every few days they're coming out with sources said this and sources said that, and they haven't uh, literally proven anything. They've had no receipts to back up anything that they've said. So I'm over it. But I will check it out and just see what they said. Now some of the stuff, like if they have if they have like someone on um that's like an expert type person or something like that, I may play that that's talking about it or whatever, but uh, when they go to slinging out the word sources, I'm done with that. Oh, okay. All right, yeah. It only shows we have 57 likes, y'all. Come on. It's free and it helps the channel. It helps our analytics. Let's see. One is family attorney who is criminal. Okay, so he's all admitted on the source. Stevie, you've been giving News Nation all the source, like all this information and not backing it up. Hey, Mace, how are you? See, it annoys me when she asks her guests a question and then cuts them off before they're done answering. I get that, Mace. It's like she's in such a hurry that she only wants them to uh, give like an answer in a certain amount of time. So I can't imagine Bethany. See, CJ, that's what I'm saying. I'm curious to know what it is that she has. They're saying that she's seen something or heard something. So she couldn't have seen anything if she was asleep. But then they say that she was there 8 hours after when the police showed up. So they don't say that she was there when it happened. And Mace, I seen where you said you were out working, so be careful. Okay, so like I said, this is Kelly Valoria. She is Bethany's attorney from Nevada. So in the Second Judicial Court in and for the County of Waso, State of Nevada. It's the State of Idaho versus Brian C. Kohlberger. Has the case number CV23-00566. If you go to the Waso County Courts, I believe is the website, and you put in that case number, that's where it pulls everything up. Okay, my problem, they said that both BF and DM were both asleep, and then it came out that DM was awake. American Princess, yes, that they were both asleep on the first floor. And it was even said by the guy, the Howard Blum dude, that whenever Brett Payne walks into the house through the front door on the first floor, he notices that there was two doors. He opened both doors, which were both bedrooms, and it looked like like a normal girl's bedroom where they had been asleep all night. They've literally lied since the very beginning. Dylan and Bethany were asleep on the first floor. They slept through the whole thing. They didn't hear anything. There was a target. There wasn't a target. There was the community. There was like no danger. Then there was a danger. Like it's just like they couldn't make up their mind. And then the whole car thing, they give us the years, and then somewhere in there they claim that they bumped it up to a 2016 white Honda Elantra, which I never heard. Riddler. Um, hold on, let me look. I know that I responded to one of your emails. Okay, I see it on here, Riddler, but I haven't got a chance to look at it yet. Let's see. And wait, what a baby. If you need me to slow the chat down, just let me know. Double take, how are you? Let's see. So much contradiction. Yeah, it's crazy how they've lied. I mean, they knew. I don't. Maybe they thought in the very beginning that okay, we're just going to tell the public that they were both asleep on the first floor. They slept through the whole thing. They didn't see or hear anything, and it won't get out. And I don't think that they were anticipating once again, like all these other cases, that social media was going to get involved in it. Okay, so one juror says if someone does 67 and 68, then I'll like 69. Okay, so we need a 67 and a 68, so one juror matters can be the 69th like. Hey, H-Town, how are you? Can you imagine sleeping and waking up to murders and blood is already drying everywhere? GG, I couldn't imagine. And then you have Ashley Banfield coming out talking about, well, Bethany, when she come out of her room, she never went upstairs and seen anything, according to her sources. All right, y'all, we got 67 and 68. One jury, you better hit it for 69. Thank you, Roger. Oh, we got 69, 70, and 71 now. Thank you, Riddler. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Tonka. Thank you, 9mm. Sounds like an auction. I actually can pull it up on my screen where I can watch it live as I'm getting uh, the likes are coming in. Hey, Norman. And yeah, I believe that, Norman, that her sources are fake stories. 9mm, I love you too, honey. It's gotten. Hey, somebody took their like away. I had 76, now I got 75. H Tailbonus, somebody else said that. That what if it was a an overnight call like that? Um, and if it was, that's fine. You like, I'm not gonna. Hey Tracy, how are you? I'm not gonna like bash the girl for that. Um, thank you, Sima. But somebody had mentioned that if that could they have been dating? Could they have went out that night? Could she have been with him? Could she have seen him somewhere? Like, could she be his alibi? So he dropped her back off. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not gonna if that's what it was. Like, I'm not gonna bash her for that. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all, we're up to 81 now. Thank you all so much, though. You guys are awesome. Let's try to hit it to 90, though. What a baby is. She's screaming for 90, y'all. Let's see. I just wanted you to know that I didn't drop my membership for any reason. Then I blew up my transmission in my truck and had to make. No, Tonka, that is perfectly fine, honey. I completely understand. Let's see. Think Bethany knows who the real killers are. You think, Norman? Because they're saying that she has exculpatory evidence that can exonerate Brian Kohlberger. And if y'all remember, his attorney that he had in Pennsylvania said whenever he put that statement out that he was talking to Brian Kohlberger at jail, and Brian wanted to put in some of his own statements into that statement. And one of his statements was he is eager to get back to Idaho to be exonerated. And now all of a sudden, they're coming out with this information saying that Bethany has exculpatory evidence which can exonerate him. So maybe with stuff that he's told his attorney and this, hey Jamie, how are you? And this investigator, and then going over the several times that she had been interviewed by police, maybe they found it. Oh, Double Take, thank you so much for gifting us memberships. That was very nice of you. See, one juror got it. Michelle, 4 Chihuahuas. Elizabeth, Sweet Melissa got them. Thank you so much. That is very nice of you. Hey, Brooklyn, how are you? H-Town Finest, call you Mr. Hit That Like. Let's see. What if BF was there until 4:15 when Dylan got scared? BF got scared as well and ran to a boyfriend's house and returned at 11:30 the next morning. That's why the front door was open around 9. Still curious about the front door being open around 9. I wonder if that's actually true. Let me see. Allegedly, she saw 3 people in a driveway walking towards the house. One allegedly was the chief of police. Second was her own brother, allegedly. And the third was BK, allegedly. Pickle Me Elmo, I remember hearing that story from somebody. I don't remember exactly who it was, though. Let's see. I think it's more simple. I think they are going to discredit Dylan by Bethany saying that she was really effed up. Jamie, that could be it. But can that exonerate Brian, though? That would be just discrediting Dylan. They're saying that she has exculpatory evidence. Let's see. This case is going to make your mind blown when we find out BK is not the real killer and the cops wanted us to believe. Norman, I will say this. If it comes out and it is proven that he is not the person who did this, and they were trying to frame, sit up, place blame, or whatever on this dude, and this whole time they have let the actual person who did it run free, I'm going to lose my shit. Honestly. Because if he is the person who did it, he needs to go to jail. He needs to go through the whole justice system like us Americans have and that we're entitled to, and have his trial, the evidence against him presented to a jury, and the jury finds him guilty. He gets the conviction. He gets sentenced to life in jail or life in prison, death penalty, whatever. But if he ain't the person who did it, then they need to be out there looking for the person who did. Because at the end of the day, these victims and these victims' families deserve justice. But I mean, they're claiming they have the DNA on the knife sheet. They have the camera footage of the car. But they never came out and said on that camera footage that it was him driving the car. So basically, like, we're going to have to wait until, and we've actually got 62 more days until this preliminary hearing starts. Okay, 9mm, when I get done with these, all these documents, remind me to drop you a link. So we've got And that's if they don't move the preliminary, which I don't. I mean, they're sending out subpoenas and telling people to be there uh, at a certain date at a certain time and all this and that. I don't think that it's going to get moved. Hey Abe, how are you? Let's see. I thought they have irrefutable evidence that he did it. Abe, that's what they said. Like they've got the DNA on the sheet, but then you've got the defense coming out and saying that Bethany Funk has exculpatory evidence. So it's like at this point you got this competition going of who's got the best evidence. Okay, I just seen another. Plus the ID. Okay, so the whole ID thing, that was once again sources coming out claiming that the ID was one of the victims. Like we don't even know if that's even true or not. If that, it has in the warrant return that there was ID cards found in a glove in a box. But that's all we know is facts. We don't know if the ID or any of the IDs that was found belonged to any of the victims. Hey HG, how are you? The only facts that we know is what was put um, on that search warrant return. Let's see. BFID, not a victim in my opinion. And see, H-Town, somebody else had brought that up on Twitter. Could she have went out with him that night? She left her ID in his car. And that's how he ended up with it, if it is hers. But once again, we don't know whose it is. All we know is that there was IDs found in a glove in a box. And that could be that could be like all of his IDs. It could be IDs from college. It can be high school IDs, like from school or junior high. Uh, it could be old driver's license. It could be anything. It could be his or his parents. Like it could be anybody's. Let's see. I don't have Twitter, but I see we think of like, yeah, Twitter has been going crazy today over all this coming out. Let's see. I thought it was alleged to belong to someone in the house, not necessarily victim. Michelle, that's what the Banfield sources said. Oh my gosh, y'all. These cats. Okay, so let me get started on this. All right, so this is the motion to quash the foreign subpoena. So wait, what a baby. While I'm reading this, I won't be able to see the chat, but if you need me to slow it down, just like throw some big flashy things in chat, and it'll get my attention. See, unless I see proof that it was the victim's ID, I'll assume it's BK's or someone else. Yeah, exactly, Emerald Queen. Because only proof we have is that they were found, or IDs were found in his possession. Cats are little kids. Oh, no fear. These here are just getting into everything. Hey, Paula, how are you? Maybe Bethany can explain the presence of Koberger's DNA on the knife sheath, like maybe someone in the house purchased it from him. It's a good thought. But would they have? I mean, it's a possibility. But would they have just bought the knife sheath and not the knife that goes with it? So did they say victim or someone in the house? I thought, Michelle, it said victim. That it belonged to one of the victims of the house. I believe, but I could be wrong. But I thought That's what it said. I just remember it. I believe it was Banfield that came out with it, and she said that it belonged to one of the victims. That the ID found there was an ID found, and it belonged to one of the victims of the house. Okay. All right. And I don't know if anybody's came in. If not, thank you all for joining us tonight. You guys are awesome. Let's see. Everyone living in the house is considered a victim. But I think it was, I don't know if that's what they were like, if they were referring to it being one of the victims that was murdered or just anybody that was in the house in general. Because people were screaming, that SKs like to take trophies and all this and that. Sandra, I love you too, honey. Um, some people were saying there was no way that he had time to get a victim's ID. Like if he was, like he wouldn't have had time to go through their stuff. But at the same time, let's just say if it was one of the four victims, Kaylee and Maddie were at the corner club that night. We saw them on video at the food truck. They had no purse with them, but I'm pretty sure they had their ID in their back pocket. I mean, there's a lot of times I stick my ID in my pocket, don't take a purse with me. When I get home, I take my ID out of my back pocket and throw it on my desk. They could have very easily done that. Or they could have one of the phone covers that you stick your IDs in, like your IDs and credit cards and all that. They could have had one of those too, and it could have been laying there, and he saw it and grabbed it as he was going out the door. So, I mean, they never specified, the police didn't, and it's not been specified in any documents. I will say that um, whose idea it was. Okay, so let me get back to the show. All right, so it says, comes now Kellyanne Valoria, counsel for Bethany Grace Funk, and respectively moves to quash the foreign subpoena, out-of-state commission obtained by Evelyn Grosnick, intern Washoe County Public Defender, on behalf of defendant Brian C. Kohlberger for the preliminary hearing in the case. The motion is made and based upon the attached points and authorities, all papers and pledgings on file herein, and any evidence and argument to be heard on the matter. This was on the 21st day of April, which was Friday. Okay. All right, so this is the memorandum of points and authorities. And I must say real quick, wait, little baby, you may have to remind me the guy's name. He's a baker. His last name is Baker, off of Twitter. I can't, is it Mike Baker off of Twitter that had these on there? So I do want to give him credit for posting them on Twitter. I believe his name is Mike Baker. Okay. All right. So just want to give him credit. He's the one that put these out this morning. Okay, so the memorandum of points and authorities. So number one is facts. It says on April the 3rd of 2023, Evelyn Grosnick, intern Washoe County Public Defender, sought and obtained an ex parte foreign subpoena, which was issued on April the 11th of 2023, that purports to require Bethany Grace Funk to appear in the Second Judicial District Court of the State of Idaho, County of Latah, on June 28, 2023. They spelled the month of June wrong. At 8 a.m. and for the duration of the trial, or when released by the court to testify in the above named case. The items provided in support of the subpoena were an ex parte request for foreign subpoena out-of-state commission, which contained the following: certificate of an Idaho judge to secure the attendance of an out-of-state witness, the ex parte motion for certificate to secure the attendance of an out-of-state witness, and the affidavit in support of a motion for an out-of-state witness, which all of those is what I have that I've just read to y'all. Thank you, White Widow Baby. Now, White Widow Baby has put Mike Baker's Twitter link in the chat. If I'm not mistaken, he is a journalist with the New York Times or New York Post. I don't remember. But he is the one who put this out. If y'all don't follow him on Twitter and you have it, please go do so. Hey, Megan, how are you? All right, y'all. We're up to 86 likes. We try to get it to 100. We have 152 people in here. So if we can get the likes up, that would be awesome. If Funke can provide exculpatory evidence and prevent a wrongful conviction, why would she not want to do that? Lori, I mean, I see it that way, but I also see it that if she has something that they're claiming is exculpatory, but it's really not, and she can put him away because he did this to her friends, her roommates, she should do that too. But maybe she doesn't want to come in on the defense's side, though. Maybe she wants to come in on the state, like be a witness for the state instead of the defense. All right, y'all, we're up to 90. 10 more to go. All right, now I got to find my spot because I have... Okay. Like I said, all of those that was just named off is what I had read to y'all earlier. Okay, so the affidavit in support of the motion for the out-of-state service further claims that Ms. Funke, whose name is repeatedly misspelled, has information material to the charges against Mr. Kohlberger, which they misspelled Kohlberger's name. Like, I don't know who the transcriber is for this, but they got a lot of misspellings. So portions of information Ms. Funke has is exculpatory to the defendant. These statements are conclusionary without support, and there is no further information or detail pertaining to the substance of the testimony, its materiality, or the alleged exculpatory information of Ms. Funke, or why it would be entertained at preliminary hearing. Moreover, the subpoena was issued by the clerk of court without hearing. No hearing has been set for Ms. Funke to address these concerns. This motion follows. So number 2 is the argument. Let's see. If there's a typo in June, I'd be cautious about trusting the document. I mean, you would think, or any attorney that I've ever seen, that whenever they dictate something and then you go transcribe it, then the attorney is supposed to look over it and check for mistakes, and then you go back and you fix the mistakes. The transcriber does. Or, I mean, that's what I was taught when you transcribe stuff. So I don't know. All right, so number 2 is the argument. The court should quash the foreign subpoena issued purporting to compel Ms. Funke's attendance at the Idaho preliminary hearing in the case. NRS 174.305 through NRS 174.385 governs the issue of a subpoena in criminal court. NRS 174.395 through NRS 174.445 governs the procedure for securing the attendance of a witness for testimony outside of the state. See, there's autocorrect also. Yeah, but the thing is, like with legal documents, like I've had to transcribe legal documents before. I don't like them just like I don't like medical documents. But in a legal document, whatever's dictated, you transcribe it and then you let them check it. Whoever dictated it is supposed to check the transcription before it's ever turned over. Whoever did this it's not professionally done, in my opinion. And I mean, I've always worked from home doing transcription work, whether it's legal, medical, or just general transcription. And our stuff was always went through a QA before it was ever turned into a client. Riddler, you have a good night. So this does not seem professional at all. And that's just in my opinion. And I'm only saying it because I've transcribed legal documents before. Like it was done before. And even if there was like a quick turnaround time, um, like I can type 72 words a minute with like a 98% accuracy, whether it's legal, medical, or whatever. It still should have went through a QA. It should have been checked before it was turned over or submitted or anything like that. It's very unprofessional. All right, y'all, I done lost my spot now. Okay, so NRS 174.415 in particular addresses the process for summoning of a Nevada witness to testify in another state. Specifically, NRS 174.415 requires the court to fix a time and place for a hearing before it can issue any order directing testimony in another state. This hearing is necessary to provide a venue where the judge determines that the witness is material and necessary. But if I ain't mistaken, I think the word judge is supposed to be capitalized too. See, that it will not cause undue hardship to the witness to be compelled to attend and testify in the prosecution or grand jury investigation in the other state, and that the laws of the state in which the prosecution is pending or grand jury investigation has commenced or is about to commence, and any other state which the witness may be required to pass by ordinary course of travel, emphasis added. Yeah, this is very, y'all, this is not professionally done, I will say that. 72 words. Yeah, Scarlett, King Scarlett, I can do 72 words per minute with a 98% accuracy. But I mean, y'all, like, that's, before I started YouTube, um, I transcribed for many, many years. Medical transcription is the worst because it's got to be done a certain, like, legal transcription has got to be done a certain way also, but medical, um, it has like different types of things has to be done different types of way. And I've noticed something on this page that the sentences or each line is not in order with the numbers on the side of the page. It is just it's not professionally done at all. Once again, that is my opinion. All right, so once that procedure is followed and the burden is met, then and only then shall the judge issue a summons with a copy of their certificate attached, directing the witness to attend and testify in the court where the prosecution is pending, or where a grand jury investigation has commenced or is about to commence at the time and place specified in the summons. In any such hearing, the certificate shall be prima facie evidence of all the facts stated therein. So you can't understand. Oh, boomer girl. Let's don't get started on the foreign doctors now, because they're the worst. They talk 100 miles an hour, and every word sounds the same. All right. So, moreover, there is no authority for an Idaho criminal defendant to summon a Nevada witness to Idaho for a preliminary hearing. There is also no authority for an Idaho criminal defendant to summon a Nevada witness to an Idaho matter without a hearing, and there is no authority to summon a Nevada witness to an Idaho matter without a Nevada judge making a finding of materiality necessary and the lack of undue hardship. NRS 174.315 does contemplate a Nevada criminal defendant's ability to subpoena a witness to appear before a court in Nevada. However, there is also a requirement for a hearing requirement there. See, there's also dictionaries. They aren't sure how to spell something. I don't know. It's very unprofessional. And when it's unprofessional like this, it makes it harder to read. All right, so thus, even if that law applied by analysis, no hearing occurred and that important procedural requirement was not met. Additionally, NRS 174.4151 provides that if a judge of a court of record in any state, which by its laws has made provision for commanding persons within that state to attend and testify in the state, certifies under the seal of such court that there is a criminal prosecution pending in such court, or that a grand jury investigation has commenced or is about to commence. That a person being within the state is a material witness in such prosecution or grand jury investigation, and that the person's presence will be required for a specified number of days upon presentation of such certificate by any judge of court of record in the county in which such person is judge shall fix a time and place for a hearing and shall make an order directing the witness to appear at a time and place certain for the hearing. That is such a huge run-on sentence. Let's see, I hate to be in a courtroom with a suspected killer and give any testimony as he stares you down. Then, if not convicted, he is on his possible target list. And CJK, that could be a huge factor in this. She could be scared. Dylan could be scared, to go in and testify, which is, that's understandable. Oh, dear Lord, I done missed my spot, y'all. Let's see, it make me nervous. Hold on 1 second. All right, I'm back. Mm, okay. Oh, yeah, I forgot the emphasis added to the end of that run on sentence, y'all. So, importantly here, there is no certification by any judge of any court of record in any state, Nevada or Idaho, that clearly states that Bethany Grace Funk is a material witness in such prosecution or grand jury investigation. A close reading of the certification purported to be from a judge merely states that Miss Funk may be a material witness. This insufficient under the law for the foreign subpoena to stand. Lastly, as this court is well aware, a preliminary hearing is limited to a finding of probable cause rather than reasonable doubt, which is the evidentiary burden at trial. This is the same standard in both Idaho and Nevada. See the state versus Mance at 148, Idaho 303, 307, 222, P.3D 471, 475. Also see Macron versus Sheriff 85 Nevada 175 451. Let's see, that would be P.2D 845 1969, which specifically holds that a preliminary is not a substitute for trial, and the purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine whether a public offense has been committed and whether there is sufficient cause to believe that the accused committed it. A preliminary hearing is not meant to become a mini trial due to its limited purposes in declining a probable cause. So, arguably, then, even if Miss Funk possesses exculpatory evidence which remains unknown, there is no place or reason to present that evidence at a preliminary hearing. A preliminary hearing requires the state to offer competent evidence to support probable cause and convince the magistrate that a trial should be held not the issue of innocence or guilt of the defendant. Exculpatory evidence is an issue for trial, which the documents presented misleadingly suggested the preliminary hearing to be. For all of those reasons, the subpoena served upon Ms. Funk is improper. Accordingly, the court should quash the subpoena issued purporting to compel Ms. Funk's attendance at the preliminary hearing in this case. So basically, they're pretty much saying that if she's going to testify, that it should be at trial and not the prelim. Let's see, I don't blame her. I'd be scared too, and this might put her in danger. Who knows what's really going on behind closed doors? Yeah, because I mean, like, there's been so many lies throughout this whole thing, that it's hard to believe the law enforcement up there or anything else. All right, so the conclusion. So the foreign subpoena was improperly issued. There is no component of the statutes following in issuing it, and the court should quash the subpoena issued to Ms. Funk now. The affirmation pursuant to NRS 239B.030. The undersigned does hereby affirm that the preceding documents does not contain the social security number of any person. That was dated, looks like April the 24th. I can't tell if that's the 21st or the 24th. Oh shit, I don't mean to do that. Okay, that's going to be the 21st because it has ST behind it. Okay, and then it's signed by Kelly Valoria. Hey, Joanne, how are you? Let me go down on this. So this is a declaration of Kelly Ann Valoria. So it says, Kelly Ann Valoria, being first duly sworn upon oath, deposes and says, 1, that I am the attorney of record for Bethany Grace Funk, a witness served with a foreign subpoena to testify in Idaho in the above captioned action. 2, I am the licensed to practice law in the state of Nevada, and that I am rendering this declaration on behalf of my client, Bethany Grace Funk. 3, that I have read the attached motion and know the contents, that the same is true of my own knowledge, except as those matters stated upon the information and belief. As to those matters, I believe them to be true. 4, I swear under the penalty of perjury that the assertions of the declaration are true. It's executed in Reno, Nevada on the 21st day of April. So that was Friday as well. So you shouldn't allow you to issue the subpoena have to be aware of the law and didn't know that this was. I don't know, Michelle. This whole thing is just crazy, y'all. Seriously. Okay, and this is just a certificate of service. See, I certify that I am an employee of the law firm of Valoria Affiliates, Oster and Amen, LLP, and that on this date shown below, I caused service of a true and correct copy of the attached. The opposition to motion to quash the subpoena, Deuces Tecum oral argument and evidentiary hearing requested LCR 7CD. As to be completed by electronic service upon electronically filing the within document in the Second Judicial District Court addressed to Evelyn Grosnick, which is the Washoe County Public Defender, and also to Ann Taylor. That was also done Friday, 21st day of April. And then just one of their employees have signed it. Let's see, her lawyer basically educated them on the law. That's what it sounds like, Michelle. I'm curious to see like how much further, like where is this going to go after this? Okay, Princess Megan, that's fine. Let's see. That's just if she can prove his innocence, and it should be done in the preliminary. I just think that I know that it's probably a scary thing, but I think that if she knows anything, whether it's going to help him or hurt him, she needs to testify. Hey, Big Al, how are you? I didn't know if you could see the message or not. 3 more days of Twitter, Jill. Okay, I could see your message, just can't respond. See, I always thought this Instagram had to do with records of some sort. Roger, let me see if I can find. Well, shit. Now it's gonna freeze up on me. Hold on. Okay, lots of appeals and people can't get away with a lot these days, but not on Twitter. Okay. So it means it's a Latin expression meaning literally under threat of penalty or punishment. Let's see, you will bring it with you. It's a court summons ordering the recipient to appear before the court and produce documents or other tangible evidence for use at a hearing or trial. Okay, hold on, y'all. I gotta turn the monitor back now. Okay. Hey, Daylight, how are you? Mm. Figure you're just gonna have to start being Have on Twitter. Okay, let me make sure. Okay, that was a motion to quash. Make sure that I have everything as far as the documents. I believe I've read all of them to y'all. Yes, I have. Now, the Idaho website has not. They have. Oh shit, that's not right. They have not put anything out. Well, let me go back and check one more time because I checked it earlier today. And it's still the last thing is the state's response, with which we have went over. Let's see. I think if Ellie had been more straight up about the crime, they'd have a better case. I just can't believe that they've lied about it. Like, there's so many lies that's came out. Okay, so the last thing that it shows on here on the case summary was March the 29th. So all of that we have done went over. That was like all of those documents when they did the document dump. All the orders to seal and redact, Apple, AT&T, like all of those. So nothing new has came out as far as that. All right, give me just okay. All right, 9mm. Are you still in here? Hey Kelly, how are you? Just wanted to say hi and hope all is doing well. I'm 1 hour and 20 minutes behind. Just probably fell asleep before I catch up with y'all. Scarlet reading too fast to do 2 times a night. I'm sorry, Kelly. Oh, did she might have fell asleep or something. 9mm, are you still in here? Maybe she's still in here. Let me just, because I know she wanted to come up and talk about something with this. Okay, and hold on 1 second. Okay. Let's see. She still ain't come back in. See, some random friend sent me a candy basket from Colorado today for Easter. Oh, that sounds like that's awesome, Big Al. So you need to play the Sister Mary Elephant. What the hell is that? Do I am I supposed to know what the Sister Mary Elephant is? Older folks will know who Sister Mary Elephant is. Oh, okay. Well, I'm not old, so okay. So let me jump over to News Nation real quick, y'all. Look it up. If it's only for old people, I don't need to know what it's for. Oh, it's Cheech and Chong. Okay. Let's see. Let me find something. Hold on, y'all. I'm jumping over to News Nation real quick. Okay, now millimeter, do you still want to come up or no? Nope. Okay. That is fine. Hopefully your mouth will quit hurting though. Like mouth pain is the worst. So I want to talk about zombies. Oh, okay. So I did not play Lori's thing tonight, because I had all this. Once I'm done with this live, then I'm gonna start up another live where I'm gonna play the audio. Um, if y'all want to jump into that chat and talk back and forth, y'all are more than welcome to. I think Troll is gonna watch the chat for me while that's playing because I have to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning. So I'm probably gonna go to sleep. He's gonna watch the chat because he's like a night owl and likes to sit up all night like we do. But I've got to go to sleep tonight. So as soon as this one is done, I'm gonna start the audio for today for Lori. Okay. Why is News Nation not pulling up? Hold on, y'all. Let's see, I'll be in internet. Okay, wait, what a baby. That's fine. I mean, but if you're tired though, wait, what a baby, and you don't feel like staying in the chat, that's fine as well. Um, he said he would watch the chat, and I tell him if something happens, like if it gets kicked or something like that, he can just wake me up and I'll fix it. Okay, there is something that I'm looking for. Ashley Banfield says she has been calling Brian Kohlberger, y'all. I know I'm sick of Ashley, but I got to play it. I got to hear. what the hell this woman's talking about. Like, why is she not talking about the subpoena? Why is she not talking about the documents? Did she? Yes. Oh shit! Troll's like she is. Let's see, Colorado Candy, Cheech and Chong, it's all coming together. I know who Cheech and Chong is, but I don't know no Sister Mary Elephant stuff y'all are talking about. All right. Let's see. The victims need justice, and the right man needs to face it. Boomer girl, I agree. Big Al, I'll have to look it up because I have no idea what it is. And see you too. I saw that. What a loon Lori Vallow is. Daylight, she is just crazy. And Big Al, you remember the other night when you was up on panel and we were talking about the whole Lori and Letitia thing about sticking them in the same jail cell? And I'd asked if Colorado and Utah bordered each other, and he told me yes. They don't border each other. I had to go look it up on the map. One second, I'm answering a thing back. Colorado. Yeah, Colorado and Idaho. Because that's what we were talking about. Letitia's in Colorado and Lori's in Idaho. It was still a good idea, though. It really was. Okay, give me just a second. I'm trying to see. There was supposed to be 3 different videos. So give me 1 second. That was Uncle. Okay, I think I found them. Okay. Damn, they put these out like one right after another. I live in Colorado and I don't even know which state borders my state. Well, Mace, we were talking about it the other night, and I was like, does Colorado border Idaho? And he was like, yeah. I didn't think it was right. I had to go back and look on the map. Okay. So there's 3 different videos that News Nation has put out. So we're going to start with this one. Let's see. This one is she's had enough. Father of Polly Klaas on subpoena for surviving Idaho roommates. I think there's somebody that comes up that, yeah. Let's see, Kansas, Mexico, Nebraska. See, on that road trip, I was in South Dakota, Montana, Colorado, Utah, Washington, Oregon, Idaho. I got mixed up. Wait, King Scarlet, in whose defense? He's right 95% of the time. Are you talking about Big Al? Because that is true. Like, usually Big Al is never wrong about stuff. And I was like he was completely wrong on this one. Okay, y'all. Get prepared for the white beige top. Well, technically, you wasn't way off. It does border Utah, which Utah borders Idaho. So what is? I don't think it's that far away from each other. But either way, it was a good idea. So okay, let's hear what the hell these people got to say. This one has some guy. I don't. I don't know who Polly Klaas is. I don't know if she's a victim of something. But we're about to see. So you think of the conversation that would have never happened had I not been wrong. That is true. All right, y'all. So let me play this.
Mark Klaas had to testify in a courtroom after his beautiful 12-year-old daughter, Polly, was abducted and raped and murdered. And he testified and he stared down Richard Allen Davis. And Richard Allen Davis is on death row. And Mark Klaas is live with me now from Sausalito, California. Mark, it is such an important question, what you go through as a victim's family from horse's mouth. I'd love to get your take on this Bethany Funk situation and what she must be going through and the pressure that we are all under in a system of jurisprudence where everybody deserves a fair defense. What's your take?
Well, I think it's a brutal and cruel way to get this young woman to try to testify on behalf of the person that murdered her friends and her roommates. My goodness, that poor lady, everything that she's had to go through and continues to have to go through. This is probably the defining moment of her life in many ways. And they're asking her to come into a courtroom or a hearing room and face, I assume that he'll be there, that she'll have to face this guy and give evidence on his behalf. It's bad enough, Ashley, to have to go in and face these people to begin with, to have to look in the eyes or be even in the same room within proximity of the individual that changed lives, ruined lives, and altered the course of other lives. It's a very difficult thing to do.
And Mark, you were a parent. When this happened, you were a grown man. Not to suggest that your pain was any less than Bethany's as a young woman, just in the beginning of her college career. But what was it like for you when you got up on that stand and you had to look directly at Richard Allen Davis and give your testimony? What was it? Just take me there from your perspective.
Well, sure, it was surrealistic. I mean, certainly, again, facing this.
Is the audio breaking up for anybody else? Because it sounds like it is for me as well. Let me, hold on. Let me exit off of some things and see if that helps. It's in and out. Okay. Give me just 1 second. I'm going to exit off a few things and maybe this will help it now. Plus, like I said earlier, YouTube has been like super ass glitchy. Sounds like a connection issue. My internet has actually been working good tonight, but I've seen other people talking about on other channels that, and I was watching one earlier where like the audio kept going in and out a little bit, and it sounds like whenever this is playing, it's doing that. But I did have something else pulled up here on the screen, but I've exited off of it now. So hopefully it'll help. But I'll back it up just a little bit and see if that helps y'all.
Career. But what was it like for you when you got up on that stand and you had to look directly at Richard Allen Davis and give your testimony? What was it? Just take me there from your perspective.
Well, sure, it was surrealistic. I mean, certainly, again, facing this individual who brutally kidnapped and raped and murdered my little girl. I was looking at him and he was trying to stare me down. I don't understand what he thought. Maybe he thought I was a 12-year-old girl and I would be intimidated, but I kept his stare until he looked away. But it's unnerving, Ashley. You sweat. You feel horrible to be in the presence of pure evil and to have to deal with these things. You know, I spoke today, after talking to your producers, I spoke today with one of the girls that was with Polly that also testified at the trial. And at the time of the trial, she was about 15 years old. And she had to face this guy. And she said that it was just so odd being in the courtroom, that she hated being there, that she couldn't stand the presence of this guy. She kept trying to look at him. She wanted to look at him, but she didn't want him to look at her. And she said ultimately, by the time she finished her testimony, that her impression was that he refused to look at her. He was looking at the ground the whole time or looking at the table. And she was able to get those glances, but I know that it was traumatizing for her. She said it was. It was one of the more difficult things she's ever had to do. And she would never want to have to repeat doing something like that again.
Mark, you have done so much for victims' rights in the years since Polly died. Would you be willing to help Bethany or Dylan if they so needed your help? Would you be able to help them navigate some of these incredible obstacles that you face that are so unique?
I'd be happy to, of course. I mean, that's what we do with the Klaas Kids Foundation. Our mission is to stop crimes against children, and we do that in a variety of ways. And certainly, if it's helping somebody prepare their testimony or give them a psychological lift as they're approaching the having to face these characters in prison, I'd be more than happy to do that. If it would help them, absolutely.
Mark, you're such a great person, and I am always happy to talk to you. It's been a long time, and we've talked to each other many times over these years. But you're strong. You're a leader in this community, and it is a unique community. And so, thank you for all the work that you've done and what Klaas Kids have done. And I hope to talk to you again on this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ashley. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you for watching.
Okay, can somebody find me that website? The Klaas Kids? I would like to look at that. And I'm writing his name down and his daughter's because I've never heard of his daughter's case, but I would like to look at it, read up about it. Okay, see, they didn't come out correctly. Sorry, just because his daughter went through a rough experience, it still doesn't matter. The truth is important. Tonka, I agree. I know, I mean, even for Dylan and Bethany, I know it would be hard, but I think it's something that needs to be done. So when did his daughter Polly, like what year did that happen to her? Let me get back over to this other one now. Okay. 93. Okay, so that may be the reason why I might have heard about it back then. I just don't remember it. Okay, in California. Okay, let me write that down. Oh, shoot. I just spelled that all wrong. Petaluma. I would like to look into that. She was waiting on her parents to pick her up and was kidnapped. Oh, wow. But I might have heard about it. But I mean, if y'all think about it back then, like, stuff didn't get out like it does now. Especially if it didn't happen in the state that you're from. I think the biggest thing whenever I was little was the whole OJ thing And then before that, I don't know if y'all remember it, and it really wasn't true crime or anything like that, but the little girl Jessica that fell down the well, like the media went crazy over that. That was like the biggest thing that I remember from whenever I was younger. Let's see, huge case. I live 10 miles from Chandra. Yeah, Lacey Peterson. Oh, really, Jamie? I read the whole Lacey Peterson book. See, Polly's story was national news. I might, once I get to reading about it, I might remember about it or whatever. Um, but like I said, I was 12 going on 13 that year, so but maybe once I get to, oh shit, that was looking into it, I may remember it. Okay. So this one is talking about Bethany Funk fights the order to testify at Kohlberger hearing. This one also has, I don't know who the guy is. I can't tell just by skimming through it, but Dave something. I can't tell what his last name is. He wasn't born yet. He wasn't born in 93? No, I don't guess you would have been. All right. Get this one pulled up here. Mm. No, I think it would have been a couple more years before you were born. Then, White Widow baby. Let's see, Roger. I don't know who this guy is that's on this video. I just know it says Dave something, but I can't tell what his last name is just by going through it on the screen here. I just know that it says his name is Dave, but I can't. Okay. Or if you remember little Jessica, I remember that. They like all the media was out there. It was like the whole thing was on the news. That was probably the first big thing that I remember uh, that was like nationwide. Hey, Bullets and Beauty, how are you? And I seen somebody else come in, y'all, that I did not say hi to. I don't remember who. Cherokee Raider. That's who it was. Cherokee Raider, you still feeling okay? Let's see. I remember this case. It was especially sad that it was at a slumber party. Oh wow. I'm gonna read up on it tomorrow. Like I said, I gotta take my aunt to the doctor, so I'll have most of the data to read up on stuff. All right, so let's listen to this one where she's talking about Bethany fighting the order to testify.
Back to those documents, the legalese. It is sticky stuff. Let's be clear. I mean, the fight that's going to go on between Idaho and Nevada over a young girl, she's just out of her teens, Bethany Funk, whether she's going to have to be hauled back into the horror zone. I mean, that's really what it is, right? Kohlberger's attorneys wanting her to come and back him. Just imagine that. Imagine that. There's somebody who doesn't have to imagine it because he lives in this world. It's Dave Ehrenberg. He's the state prosecutor in Palm Beach County. Dave, before we even get to the subpoena, I'm fascinated by your take because you don't even think that there should even be a preliminary hearing at all. So can you explain in layperson's terms why and what would be the alternative?
Good to be with you, Ashley. So prosecutors have two options. You could ask a judge to find probable cause. That's what we're doing here. It's a preliminary hearing. Probable cause is what's needed to make an arrest. So the arrest has been made. Now a judge is going to decide whether the arrest can go forward because The judge will decide whether there's probable cause. That's why there's a debate over witnesses. The defense at these hearings get to call witnesses. They get to force the prosecution to put on some semblance of a case. And so these hearings are beneficial to the defense. It forces the state to show its hand. It forces witnesses like Bethany to show up. Or there's another alternative. The prosecutors can just go to a grand jury and seek a grand jury indictment. That's done in secret. There are no defense lawyers there. There are no defense witnesses. In Florida, this would go to a grand jury. We would not be going through this preliminary hearing stuff. But in Idaho, grand juries are much more rare. I still think that it should happen here. It would protect Bethany, and it would just speed things up. You wouldn't have to wait 6 months for this hearing.
You know what, though? You know how it is, right? Like, his attorneys will fight tooth and nail not to have a grand jury, because the old dumb expression, which isn't true, is that you can indict a ham sandwich with a grand jury. It isn't true, but it is a lot easier, to have a grand jury indict, because the defense attorneys don't get to go there. So you can imagine that they would be like screaming cats fighting that one.
Yeah, but the best thing, it's not their call, Ashley. The prosecutors can get a grand jury indictment, and it's probable cause is the standard. They can move that. Now, I'm not an expert on Idaho law, but I got to believe that this would be the path of least resistance. It's available to them, and I just don't understand why they don't pursue it that way. It would avoid all these problems.
And the other thing is the thing that the law doesn't allow in Idaho is to compel a witness to come for a preliminary across state lines. So it's a bit weird. I assume that you and I are going to have another discussion, because I kind of feel like there's going to be this hearing in Nevada, right, where a judge will decide. Was I off base thinking that? I only have 10 seconds.
No, I think they will. And I think she will be compelled to go back to Idaho and testify, because all the doubts go in the defense's favor. They're going to make sure he gets a fair trial.
I'm going to bet you a milkshake on that one, just because of the Idaho law not allowing it. So this is kind of one weird one. You're right. And then there's the Idaho law, too. So I like Shake Shack. Thank you, Dave Ehrenberg. Nice to see you. I always appreciate it. Thank you for.
Dear Lord, the laugh at the end. Ashley Banfield's going to give herself whiplash when she keeps flipping her head around like that. Like, who the fuck bets milkshakes on a case where 4 kids were murdered? A tad bit unprofessional, don't you think? Boomer Girl, which book? The Lacey Peterson one? Is that the one you're asking about? Okay. Hey, Tina Marie, how are you? She meant to say, can imagine testifying at the prelim, then a trial, assuming there is one afterwards. Yeah. Like, just the laugh and the whole milkshake thing. That was unprofessional.
Can you tell me something real quickly?
No, I'm not. It's unprofessional. You don't sit there and bet milkshakes on who's going to be right and who's going to be wrong, especially against the DA who knows the law. Okay. This is the one where she's talking about she's been trying to call Brian Kohlberger on a burner phone. Every time she says, thank you for watching. Mace, I try to cut it off right before it says that. I don't always make it in time, though. And the whole head, I'm telling you, the woman's going to get, she's going to get whiplash. And Boomer Girl, if you were talking about The Lacey Peterson book, the one you were asking me about a minute ago, yes, it is good. Lacey's mom, Sharon, is so nice. I run in her at casino at Black Oak. That was a very sad case. The Lacey Peterson one. Let's see. She bit milkshakes on the outcome of the case, so disrespectful to the poor victims. Yes. It's very disrespectful. It's unprofessional. Like, if I owned a news station, I would not want one of my journalists or news anchors or whatever you want to call whatever it is she's doing. Hey, son, how are you? I would not want them saying stuff like that. So you just arrived exculpatory evidence to help him. What is going on here? Son, it's a bunch of craziness. Crazy, crazy, crazy. The investigator that Ann Taylor has hired is claiming that Bethany has exculpatory evidence that can help exonerate Brian Kohlberger, that she was interviewed by police several times, and she has seen and heard things. I don't know how she's seen or heard. Well, I could understand hearing something if you're asleep and you get woke up to hearing sounds, but how could you see something if you're asleep? But then it also says in there, in the affidavit by the investigator, that she was there 8 hours later when the police arrived, but it never says that she was there when the murders happened. So I read all the documents that came out today. I've read over every single one of them on here. Even had them pulled up on screen and all that. It's just craziness. Exculpatory means it's basically information or evidence that will exonerate someone. But I want to pull up the actual definition of it. And I was going to write it down, and I didn't. Let me get it pulled up here. Wait, I forgot to tell you, 2:30 Texas time on City of Everman YouTube channel update on investigation tomorrow. Okay. Thank you. Wait, little baby. Okay, so exculpatory evidence is material that is favorable to a defendant in a criminal case. It can exonerate or lessen their culpability, leading to more favorable outcomes. Prosecutors must hand over any exculpatory evidence as part of the individual's due process rights. Hey, Millennial, how are you? Let's see, whose ID was on Brian's car? Some say maybe it was one of the survivors. Millennials, they never said who the ID belonged to. The only thing that was said in the search warrant was that there was ID cards found in a glove in a box. It has never been said who those IDs belong to, whether they're Brian Kohlberger's IDs or whether they're somebody who lives in the house, whether it be Dylan or Bethany, or whether it be one of the 4 victims, the 4 who were murdered. They've never said who it is or who they belong to. Okay. All right. And I need to make a note real quick, y'all, because I will be done forgot about Everman doing that tomorrow. So give me 2 seconds. Okay. All right, give me 1 second, y'all. Let me write this down so I don't forget. YouTube. You said 2 o'clock, right? 2:30. Okay. April the 25th. 3. Okay. All right. So I've got a note on here. I'm not even gonna be home at that time. but I will. I'll try to remember to look it up. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay. And as far as the IDs, like I said, it was never confirmed who they belong to. It came out by News Nation that the IDs belong to someone in the house. And they're claiming that it came from a source. Now, I don't believe the whole source bullshit, honestly. Yeah, Boomer Girl, the Lacey Peterson book, it was really good. Hey, the amazing Tiff, how are you? See, that's okay. I'll cover it. Okay, thank you, White Widow Baby. Hopefully, I'll be parked somewhere where I can watch it. Does anyone agree with me and think that it was a typo in the search warrant about the IDs? Jen, I mean, I've seen some people say that it says 10 cards. Honestly, I think it says ID cards. But that's just my opinion. I know other people look at it differently as the number 10 instead of ID. Somebody even said on one of the Facebook groups that if you go look through the whole return where they wrote down everything that they took, that they think that it said 10 cards because if it would have been ID cards, it would have been like they didn't write the D like they did in everything else. And people kept telling them, well, ID, you have to capitalize both the I and the D. But my opinion, I think it's ID cards. Let's see. Oh, yes, we do have birthdays coming up tomorrow. I just saw another. Oh, see, I mean about in the glove in a box. No, I don't think that was a misprint either, Jen. I think that's where they found him out. I mean, if you think about it, like he could have been cleaning out a car or anything like that, and they were in his car, and he just stuffed them in a glove and threw it in a box or something like that. Because they don't really even specify what type of box it was. Hey, Iris, how are you? Let's see. News Nation seems to use all unidentifiable sources, like when reporting BF saw nothing but heard nothing, but ran out of the house after chaos. Yeah, I would like to know who their sources are. Okay, I'm gonna get it. Scott does look like a killer of the ones I've seen. You just didn't. He could fool me. Yeah, it's a really good book, though, Boomer Girl. You should really get it. Let's see. Learning to Live. How are you? Could it be business cards? Yeah. I mean, it could be any type of cards. It could be old driver's license where he got them renewed. It could be old college ID cards. It could be from high school. It could be anything. See, I wonder what she could possibly say to help him. And see, son, that's what I don't know. I mean, could she be his alibi? If she does have exculpatory evidence, meaning she has evidence that could exonerate him, could she know him? Could they have dated? Could she be his alibi? Could she have seen him somewhere that night? Like it could be a million different things. Okay, do y'all remember earlier on, after Brian was arrested and all this and that some of his neighbors in Washington said that they had seen Brian with a blonde-headed girl? I know that it was said that there was an Asian lady that was seen with him at his apartment. Um, but do y'all remember it being said that he was with a blonde girl? See, hello everyone. I'm normally lurking in the back. Well, learning to live. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're happy to have you. Was he in her bed that night? I don't know. It could be anything. I mean, and somebody even said like that they have a hookup that night. That's possible. I'm not gonna knock the girl if that's what happened. I'm not gonna bash her if that's what happened or whatever, or anything like that. And I don't want anybody else in chat doing that either. But it could be a number of things. People say Beth has nothing to hide. Why not testify? I mean, Millennial, her attorney is saying that, like, the preliminary hearing is not the place that she needs to it basically the preliminary is to introduce the evidence, and then the judge make the decision if there's enough evidence to go to trial. Let's see. You stated BF had been interviewed by Ellie. I simply didn't see that in the affidavit. Did I miss something? Okay, Iris, it does say, and hold on, I can pull it back up real quick, y'all. Give me just a second. Let me grab it. And then I'll pull this video back up. It is in the affidavit of the investigator that Ann Taylor had hired. No, son, I know you're not bashing. I'm just putting it out there because it was brought up earlier in chat. It could have been something where they might have just hooked up or whatever. And I was just saying that, like, if that's what happened, like, I'm not gonna bash her for doing that. Because you know how some people can be mean and be like, it's just say really mean stuff about something like that. Okay, let me find the affidavit. Give me just a second. Let's see. I think the evidence Bethany has could be an attempt to discredit the victim. If she witnessed drugs, alcohol, lots of partying, guests, that could be what the defense wants to hear. Because they're claiming that she has said and seen. Give me just a second. Let me find it. Okay, that's exhibit. Okay, affidavit. Here we go. Okay, let me get this pulled up. Okay, and y'all do know that it said that his phone pinged at like 9 o'clock that morning? I mean, she could have been with him, and that could have been why it pinged, is because he was back dropping her off. It could be a number of things. And I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying that it can be a number of things. Okay. Let's see what the investigator hired by Anne. What is the document? It works better not to say that. Okay, so here is the affidavit in support of the motion for the out-of-state service. So this was provided. It's an affidavit by Richard Bethany. I'm probably not saying this guy's last name right. But he is the investigator, and I can read over it real quick. And you'll see it up here. It's an affidavit in support of the motion for the out-of-state service. It is Richard Bethany, first duly sworn upon oath, deposes and says that I am a criminal investigator hired by the defense to assist in the representation of Brian Kohlberger. I was asked by appointed counsel Ann C. Taylor to investigate all alleged incidents which led to the arrest of Brian Kohlberger. Brian is charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of burglary. The deaths took place in a 3-story home. There are 2 bedrooms on each floor, bathrooms on each floor, and a kitchen, dining room, and living room on the middle floor. Mr. Kohlberger is alleged to have entered the house around 4 a.m. while 6 people were sleeping or present, killing 4 people in 2 separate rooms. The people killed were located in 2 bedrooms, one on the 2nd floor and the other on the 3rd floor. Bethany Funk's bedroom was on the 1st floor. The other surviving roommate's bedroom was on the 2nd floor. Bethany Funk was interviewed by police on several occasions. She disclosed things that she heard and things that she saw. Bethany Funk was present at the home 8 hours later when police were called, arrived on scene, and discovered the homicides. But it never says that she was there when the murders happened. So during the course of my investigation, it has become known to me that Bethany Funk has information material to the charges against Mr. Kohlberger. Portions of information Ms. Funk has is exculpatory to the defendant. Ms. Funk's information is unique to her experiences and cannot be provided by another witness. Bethany Funk resides in the state of Nevada, and it is necessary to subpoena this witness because the witness's testimony is material and necessary to the case. So this was done on March the 22nd of 2023. So that's where it's coming from, about her being interviewed multiple times and all that. But those last three, well, not necessarily number 12, because I mean we know she resides in the state of Nevada. But number 11, let's see. Number 9, 10, and 11 are very, very interesting. Let's see. What did Tina say? I missed her comment. Maybe he used to get her. Maybe he used her to get close to the other girls. Okay. Let's see. Cannot be provided by another witness. Like, they're saying that she has said things that she's heard and she's seen. But we have Millennial. That's where Bethany's from the Reno area. So she didn't go back to school like after the murders happened, which is understandable as well. Like, I wouldn't want to go back to college either. Okay, so maybe this is what Mr. C was talking about, the connection. Could be. But it never places her at the house at the time of the murders. Only that she was home 8 hours later when police arrived. When police were called, arrived on scene, and discovered the homicides. So was she even home whenever this happened? I wish I could fit. But the way they're spaced out, I can't fit all three of them. And then it's talking about stuff that she's seen or heard. If she was asleep, she couldn't have seen anything. If she was in her room, Ashley Banfield comes out and says, "Oh, Bethany never saw what happened up on the second floor. She never saw the scene. She never saw the victims after the murder. Nothing like that. She basically left out of her bedroom and went out the front door. She never seen nothing." That's coming from a source. Well, if she was asleep the whole time, throughout the whole night, like police have been saying, she couldn't have seen anything anyway. Okay, so maybe I was right about the roomies and what was going on in the house from the beginning. Let's see. So her and Dylan both saw and heard something. But, so Dylan is claiming that she saw this guy, gives a description of what he was wearing, his body size and all this and that. But they never really say anything about Bethany, other than she saw Ethan and Xana at the frat house from 9 to 1:45 in the morning. Police said in the very beginning that Dylan and Bethany were out in the community separately, but they both ended up back home at 1 o'clock. That timeline is still not adding up there. Xana talks to her dad at midnight and tells her dad that she's at home with her boyfriend watching a movie. So how could Bethany see him at the frat house at 1:45 if they were actually at home at 12 o'clock? Son, I have no idea. I haven't even got to watch it. So what I'm going to do is, once I'm done with this live, then I'm going to start another live with the audio, and I'm just going to play it like I usually do. I probably won't be in chat. My husband's going to watch chat for me, but I'm going to let it play. Y'all are more than welcome to listen to it or whatever, chat with each other, whatever y'all want to do. But that's what I'm going to have to start doing from here on out. Is just play it after I'm done with my lives. I think that whenever I was watching Nate Eaton stuff, I think there was a detective maybe that was on the stand, but I didn't even get a chance to read over Nate Eaton's tweets today. And like I did say earlier, Brian did say, hold on one second, that he was going to be exonerated, and now all of a sudden they have a witness that has evidence that can exonerate him. So maybe if Bethany does have evidence that could exonerate him, maybe that's what he was talking about whenever he said it. See, I bet her version of the night differs from Dylan's, and the defense will capitalize on it. Let's see. Roger, I don't either. Unless she gets on that stand and says that she was with him that night, and she's his alibi. I mean, that if she got up there and said, I was with him, he wasn't at the house, I was with him all night. Of course, she would have to prove that she was with him all night, but son, I don't know. And if y'all remember, I even said that, like, hey Erica, how are you? I even said that a while back. Like, how do we know that Bethany was even at home? Because there was nothing said in the PCA from Brett Payne. So how do we even know she was home that night? Brian did ask if anyone else had been arrested. Yes, he did. And then all of a sudden, and it says it right here in this affidavit, that she was home 8 hours later when the police were called. Okay, if he has an alibi, how are they even holding him? I don't know, Angie. I have no idea. I'm curious. I can't literally wait 60. Well, it's 61 days now that we have until this prelim. See, in my opinion, BF is a material witness. Iris, that's what they have her as on the subpoena, a material witness. And Key Scarlet, they may have subpoena Dylan. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of people before this is all over with that's going to get subpoenas. Okay, y'all, let me grab this other video real quick. Let's see. It says he couldn't have done it. He was in my bed at the time. That would cause a problem. And see, the only thing like they're going to keep going back to is the DNA on the sheet. Let's see, I don't think Brian has the necessary skills to carry out this crime alone, if at all. Somebody else is involved. Tonka, I've said that I think somebody else was driving that car, because they're claiming that they seen this car on camera turning around and trying to find a place to park in front of the house, or turn around in front of the house and making the whole 3-point turn. If he's been to that area, they're claiming 12 times, stalking the house, it seems like he would have known where to turn around at, where he can park, and all this and that. Whoever was driving the car on that video, like they're claiming was doing, was not someone who was familiar with that area. But that is just my opinion. Because if y'all remember, there was a guy that was on my panel. I don't remember what his name is, but his job was he was a personal driver. And I asked him if, in his profession, does he have the same clients? Meaning, does he go to the same houses or same areas or whatever uh, more than once or twice, like several times? And he said yes. And I asked him, okay, so these areas that you have went to multiple times, hey, Rich, how are you? Are you familiar with the roads and where you turn around and where you turn and park and all this? And he said yes. Someone that's been to an area 12 times would know where to go and turn around and park. Son, if she gets up there and says that she's been dating him and she was with him that night, it is like this case is going to flip completely upside down. Honestly. People are going to go crazy. All right, give me just a second. Oh shit. Hold on, y'all. I was answering something back. Okay, let me get this last video pulled up because I'm not going to be in here too much longer. I've got to get up super early in the morning. Okay, if so, Ellie would have to start from scratch. Yeah, son, that is true. Maybe Xana just didn't want to tell her dad. Let's see, she was at a party. I mean, that could have been it, Boomer Girl, but if you're at a party at a frat house, there's no telling how many people's there. It's not necessarily the quietest place to call your parents and be like, yeah, I'm at home with my boyfriend watching a movie. Like, she would have to walk a long ways away from the house and be in an area where there's no cars passing or anything like that to make that story believable. One second, y'all. Okay, so what if they hung around and he dropped her off at 9 a.m.? Just a thought because I believe he is guilty. I mean, it could be King Scarlet. And, you know, because they did say his phone pinged at what, 9 something? And people were thinking, okay, well, maybe he was doing a drive-by just to see if the cops had been called or whatever. I mean, it could have been that because it says, you know, Dylan don't call for 8 hours, or Ethan's friend or whatever. It's 8 hours later. But then Bethany is home all of a sudden 8 hours later when the police are called. Like, Brian's team is not putting her at the house when the murders happen. Only Dylan is being put at the house at the time of the murders. Okay, if they were together, they done a lot of rotting around. So after the murders, like 10 cop cars outside of Sigma Chi. Erica, I remember that. JLR, he had posted, so I can't remember if he did a video on it or not, but there was a lot of talking about a lot of the cop cars outside of the Sigma Chi house. Did Kaylee's dad say something about in the lines of how we know who Brian is? Like, did he not say it looked like maybe they were someone in the house knew Brian? Wait, who asked me that? Hey, Callie Dom, how are you? Millennials, he said, unless he said it another place that I didn't hear, I heard him say that something along the lines, and this isn't verbatim, but they are seeing a connection with Brian. It's how he put it. Wait, originally it was reported Bethany wasn't there? No, Joanne, was it? Because I remember that from the jump, law enforcement was saying that Bethany and Dylan was asleep on the first floor and they slept through the whole thing and didn't hear anything. In the car. Jen, you would have thought that they would have typed it up like you're saying. Like if you need to write it down, that's fine, but then get someone and go through and type it up so it's legible. And then have both copies, like the original handwritten copy of it, but also the typed up version. Let's see, it would have been much easier to blame Brent, murder him and let it be done than spend this time and money framing someone, Brian, just to have someone in jail. Yeah. None of it makes sense though, Werewolf Queen, honestly. Okay, give me 1 second. Oh, so I still think Brent is irrelevant. I'm kind of on the fence about Brent. I really am. Because it makes sense, but then it don't make sense if he's involved. You know what I mean? Let's see. Or it could be something as simple as she saw Dylan drinking. It could. That is true too, King Scarlet. She could get up and say that her and Dylan both were drinking. They were both doing drugs and discredit and discredit Dylan. It could be something as simple as that. All right, y'all. Let me get this video playing. I've been sitting here with it on my screen for 30 minutes now. Give me just a second.
Tell me something real quickly, Alex. I just mentioned to the, our viewers who are watching right now that Lori had 18 different phone accounts, but I didn't even mention the burner phones. What's the story on the burner phone? Who has burner phones except for like drug dealers and criminals and me? I have one, but like, what was the burner phone story?
Well, that's what the prosecutor.
Did she just ask who has burner phones and then say she has one? Did I hear that right? Like she was all excited saying that. Who has burner phones? I have one. Okay, let me get back to the video, y'all.
Prosecution will tell you, right? The only people that have burner phones are criminals that are trying to hide their misdeeds or people that are trying to cover up and not let other people that they're associated with know about the things that they're doing. And so it was revealed today that multiple phone accounts existed for Chad, for Lori, for Alex Cox. Now, there were three in particular for each that really were doing the brunt of the misgivings and the misdeeds, I would say. But ultimately, what the defense is trying to point out is that just because someone has multiple phones doesn't make them a criminal. Now, of course, as you mentioned, those who have burner phones usually are up to no good. But really, there was a lot of talk today about the phones, about the communications, the side chats. Also, Lori was saving some of these burner phones that were associated to Chad with different names, like she would put him as a bishop in her phone, or Alex Cox had different pseudonyms and aliases on all these different burner phones as well. So a lot of conversation about tracking phones today and about the phone activity that were happening.
Well, I just want to be really clear. I am not a drug dealer or a criminal, but I have a burner phone because I've actually been calling Brian Koberger in jail, trying to get him to, consider returning a call. And he hasn't so far. But Alex, you'll be the first to know if Brian Koberger calls me back. You and Brian Enton. You can just keep trying. That's what we do. Alex, awesome job. Fantastic. Way to go with the exclusive interview. Thank you for watching. Go to new.
Okay. Yeah. If she's been calling Brian Kohlberger while he's in jail, then why can't she show us the phone records? I mean, it's not like it's a source that she's got to keep hidden or not named. Why can't she just show us, like, print it out or pull up the phone and say, see, here's where I've been calling him? Ashley, I think it's just bullshit, if you ask me. That's what I'm saying. Like, with a baby, like, it's not it's not one of her human sources that she's claiming that she has. That would be considered actual tangible proof in her hand that she owns, that she can see, pull it up. They have the technology in the studio to point a camera at it and pull it up on a screen where all of us can see it on an actual phone and say, see, it's a burner phone, but I've been trying to call him. But she's not even going to do that. She's just, I don't know, y'all. She sounds a little too chippery for me, if y'all know what I mean. Shelty Dog, how are you? All right, let me get... let's see, Scarlett. Yes, SG said that they had found a connection. Also said Brian was close enough to get into Wi-Fi. Yes, he did say that. And then if y'all remember, Mr. Gonzalez also said in one of the interviews, he didn't have to go upstairs, but for whatever reason, we know that he did, but he didn't have to. Like, what did he mean by that as well? I'm pretty sure Mr. Gonzalez and the family of all of the victims knows more. They just can't put it out. Maybe he knows what the evidence is that Bethany has. I don't know. I just know we got 62 more days, and it's going to seem like it's going to take forever to get here. Gigi, did I say a minute ago that you were the one that said goodnight when the video was playing? I can't find the comment now, but if Gigi, if you're the one that said it, honey, you have a good night. I'm about to be getting out of here myself. Is anybody going to stick around and listen to the audio of Lori and her, or not of Lori, but of Lori's trial from today? I think it's 4. Hold on, let me go find out how long it is. I know it's 4 hours. Let me get my email. I want to say 4.5 hours, I believe. Okay, doing research on another case. Oh, wait, what a baby. Is that the one that you sent to me earlier? The, what is it, Michaela Standridge? Okay. Let me see how long it is. Give me just a second. Oh no, it's only 4 hours and 14 minutes. So not as long as what it usually is. Let's see. Can you play it back? Yes, Jen, I will. Yeah, I will make sure to put it on. I'll do like probably 1.25 speed, because at that speed it goes by quicker, but it's still slow enough that everybody can understand what everybody's saying. And also, I wanted to point out real quick, Brian Enton earlier today posted on Twitter and had asked what cases need attention this week, and he said to comment below or to DM him. So I sent him a DM about the Susie kids, explain the whole situation out and everything. I'm hoping that he will look into it and see if he can find out why Kitsap County still hasn't done anything. Okay, thank you, Werewolf Queen. Uh, you know, I was even talking to the kid's mom. She's never heard of Brian Enton, but I explained to her who he was. The cases that we all know that he's covered. Like, he camped out in Brian Laundrie's parents' neighbor's yard throughout that whole thing. Uh, he's covered Alec Murdoch. He's covered the Idaho 4, and everything. So hopefully he will look into it and try to give it some more attention. Yeah, Arv, I am. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and pull it up, because once I end this live, it's going to take me probably 5 to 10 minutes, because I will have to schedule it. But I'm not going to schedule it 30 minutes out like I usually do my lives. I'm just going to schedule it, put my thumbnail. I already have one made. I just got to update it. And then I will start playing it. But I'm going to go ahead and let's see, 1.25. Okay, so I've got the speed set on it now. See, I don't believe Bethany was with him simply because Ellie could compare phone info and see that. And what is so bad is that they haven't given us all the information that they know either. And that's a lot of the reason why most of this doesn't make sense to us. If we had all the information and evidence that law enforcement has, it might make a little bit more sense. Okay. Let's see. We know not even a quarter. Oh no, we don't hardly know anything regarding this case. If we knew everything, it would probably blow our minds. Honestly. Just reading through it, it would be a roller coaster of emotions. Hey, Jessica Lynn, how are you? Y'all, Lori Vallow only had a 3-day week last week. See, they didn't have court Monday and they didn't have court Friday. 5, 6, 7, 8. So today would have been... No fear, have a good night. Today would be what? Day 9? Of the testimony? Is that right? Let's see. It's all about the money for these apartments. think Circuit Ellie is downplaying it because they don't want to scare off the tourists. It's still a festival. That case, Marissa, that White Widow Baby's talking about, I haven't really looked into it, but just what I've seen seems really weird. So, on a scale of 1 to a million of how much we know, I doubt we're getting past a 2. Yeah. Okay, so we're on day 9. Test me. I'm just messing with my Lori Vallow thumbnail real quick. So I already have that done. Yeah, I don't know if y'all can hear Milo in the background, but he is being extra dramatic. Okay, so there's drama in the case already? Oh, wow. So it's just a tactic to play the witnesses against each other. That very well could be what it is, too. For sure. Okay. See, I want to know what Maddie told Adam if it's related to the case. Okay, so Erica, it was said, and this is coming from Kaylee's parents, that Maddie had told Adam about Kaylee wanting to get back with Jack. Like she wanted to get back together with him. And so that's what they were talking about on that walk home, or well, not home, but to the food truck that night whenever we saw Kaylee, Maddie, and Hoodie Guy. Okay. All right, so I got my thumbnail done. All I had to do was just go change it up a little bit. And then that way I can just throw it on there, get it, the other scheduled. And that way, as soon as I end this one, then those who's wanting to listen to the audio can just jump over on that one and I'll get it. Hopefully, though, the audio doesn't break up or anything, because I know, like I said, YouTube has been like super glitchy today. See, the post is telling, but her Facebook accounts are private now. Now, the one that I seen, White Widow Baby, where she was talking about if anything happens to her, whatever, just know that she didn't, however it was put it, but it wasn't that she didn't just leave. Like, why would somebody post that on their social media? Okay, it was said she made a call to 911 and when tried to answer. Yep, I read that part too on there. And that they tried to call her back and they couldn't get in touch with her. Hey, Vapor, how are you? Allegedly, she was leaving the boyfriend's house. Okay. All right, y'all. I'm fixing to put the Lori Vallow thing together. Y'all just give me a second because I want to get that done before I end this one. That way y'all can just leave this one and jump straight over to that one. LLC. Oh shit, I completely forgot what I was doing here, y'all. Money. Full audio. Okay. Erica, have a good night and thank you so much for coming and joining us tonight. Let's see, what did I miss? Okay, so Vapor, pretty much there was some documents that came out. There's an affidavit from the investigator that Ian Taylor has hired. He is claiming that there is some things that Bethany seen and heard that only she can testify to, but she also has exculpatory evidence that can exonerate Brian. There's one thing that he puts in there saying that he never puts her at the house when the murders happen. But there is a thing that he puts in there that says that she was at the house 8 hours later when the cops were called, when the cops arrived and when they discovered the homicides. So I mean, it could honestly mean a lot of things. She could be questioned on a timeline issue. She could be questioned or testified to try to discredit Dylan. She can testify that she's Brian's alibi. Like, there's a million different things really that she could testify to. Honestly. Oh, I was only called 911 Saturday night, but if I hang up, it would have been at my house. Okay, what am I doing here? So, okay, I have to set a time for this. I'm gonna do it for 1:50 a.m. my time, but I can, which is like 12 minutes from now, but I can start the live at any time. Vapor, I told Troll that. I was like, Vapor always says that there's something up with Bethany, that she's the key to it, that she knows something. So who knows what she knows, though? I mean, it could be a number of things. All right, give me just a second, y'all. I'm gonna keep y'all hanging around until I get this stuff. I gotta jump over to the studio real quick. Wait, what up, baby? What is our thumbs up number? I can't see it now. All right. I'm just doing this real quick, y'all. 1 second. Either way, she isn't getting out of the... Yeah, and see, her attorney is saying that it wasn't done right, the subpoena and all that. All right, y'all. While I'm finishing this up, 20 more people, hit the thumbs up, please. And then I'm going to end this one. Kelly, I don't understand it. But it does make sense that they're wanting to send out their, all of their subpoenas and stuff like that, because we're getting closer to the date. But they're saying that they want her there on the 28th of June. So that tells me, if that's the date that they're wanting her there, that they're not going to move it back. Put all my tags in real quick. Tammy. Shit. I can't even type tonight. Charles Gallo. Almost done here. Let's see, 138 likes. 255. There's 255 people in here? I didn't think there was that many. Oh, maybe she meant 155 because there's 154 in here. So that's what she meant. See, I'm just now learning. But Joanne, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe she just wasn't there. I'm just about done, y'all. Okay. All right, y'all. I've got it scheduled. Got all of my stuff. I gotta pop this chat out. I think Troll is gonna watch it for me. Or I can go to sleep. Let's see. Did I hear you say you were going to be done? Yeah, Vapor, I'm about to end it. I've got to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning. So, and I didn't get to play the Lori Vallow stuff tonight. So I'm fixing to play it, and I'm just gonna let it play out. And Troll is gonna watch the chat for me. And I think White Widow Baby says she's gonna be popping in and out. And I'm just gonna have to catch up on the Vallow stuff tomorrow while I'm in town. See, from the start, there were no reports Bethany was there. Joanne, the only thing that came out in the very beginning was law enforcement was saying that Bethany and Dylan were asleep in the first floor bedrooms and that they slept through the whole thing. Like, that's what we were told all the way up until the PCA come out. Bethany has tried avoiding testifying. Well, son, this is really the first time that they've said anything about her testifying is when they did the subpoena. And then her attorney did the motion to quash the subpoena. Her attorney is basically saying that it wasn't done right and all this and that. And there's a whole big memorandum of things that she was saying that wasn't done right. Let's see. Oh, Kelly Dum, you're very welcome. Okay, let me get this pulled back up here so that way I can have everything on one spot for Troll. Two seconds. I mean, I'm pretty sure the girl is scared. For sure. Let's see, why would she fight testifying she knows something? I mean, son, it could be just a simple thing if she doesn't want to go in there and face Brian. Yeah, Callie Dime, it will be. I've already got it scheduled. I think I scheduled it for 1:50, which is like 6 minutes from now. So as soon as I end this one, then I'm gonna start the next live up, and it's just gonna be just the audio. It's all it's gonna be. I'm not gonna talk or anything like that. I'm just gonna pull it up and just start the audio from the beginning. So y'all, I'm gonna get out of here because I really do need to go to sleep. I've got, like I said, I got to get up at 7 in the morning. And Kelly Dime, you're welcome. I'm gonna be driving all day tomorrow. So, let's see. Do we need to click off? Yes, Marissa, you'll have to click. I'm fixing to end this one, but the other one is already scheduled, so y'all should be able to see it. And as soon as I end this one, I'm gonna jump over to the other one and go ahead and start the live. And it may take me a second to get the audio going, but that's what I'm about to do because I can't do the two lives now. Well, I can't do two lives at the same time. So I'm fixing to get out of here. So thank you all so much for coming and hanging out with me tonight and listening to all this. Gonna keep an eye out to see if anything else comes out. HT, have a good night. We'll see what happens. Tonka, you have a good night, honey. So I love you all. I hope you all have a wonderful night. For those who do want to listen to the Lori Vallow trial from today, April 24th, I'm fixing to get it going. You are more than welcome to just exit out of this live and on to the next one that I have scheduled. I will pop into chat real quick, and then I'm going to show Troll what he needs to do. And I don't know uh, if he'll be in the chat or not, or if he's just going to watch it. Princess Megan, I love you too, honey. All right, so I will talk to y'all tomorrow. I hope y'all have a wonderful night and a good Tuesday.